Thomson Reuters Icon offers sophisticated tools and the most comprehensive data to enable you to price and analyze convertible bonds. In this module, we'll introduce 3 useful tools: the Convertible Bond homepage, the Convertible Bond View, and the new Convertible Bond Calculator. We'll start by taking a look at the Convertible Bond homepage. From the Fixed Income homepage, click Bonds, then Convertibles. Here you'll find quick links to the market view for the major convertible bond markets. Click View next to European CB for a market view for Europe. Use the controls above the results table to view different cross-sections of the asset universe. For example, let's select convertibles issued by large-cap transportation companies. Also on the Overview tab, you'll find the latest values for the UBS convertible indices, the leading indices in the asset class, used by over 70% of assets under management in global funds with convertible-specific benchmarks. These are computed by Thomson Reuters, the only provider offering constituent data on the desktop. In this module, we'll take a look at the information available for a specified convertible. You can search for a bond or enter a code, such as an ISIN or CUSIP, in the command line. On the left of the overview is a pared-down version of the Convertible Bond Calculator. We explore the calculator later in this course. Under the chart are the latest quoted prices for the bond, a summary of the key model inputs for the underlying security, and a section for notes. Here, you'll be alerted to bond-specific complexities, which result in unusually high modeling risk. The tabs at the top provide access to a range of useful views, including news, historical data, research, issuer, and holdings information. The Event Schedule view is especially useful for analyzing convertibles. The color coding and screen layout enable you to see at a glance the structure of the issue. The soft call columns indicate that on April 1, 2013, a soft call trigger was activated at 130% of the conversion price. The conversion columns indicate between August 6, 2009 and 1 week before maturity, the issue is convertible at a conversion price of 11.8. The DPT column indicates a steadily increasing dividend protection threshold, currently standing at 0.3. Click the plus next to an event date to view additional information. Here we can see the soft call trigger happens only if the 10-day average price exceeds 130% of the conversion price. We'll now take a look at a more complex security. We're now viewing the event schedule for a bond issued by Goodrich Petroleum. We can see this bond has been contingently convertible since the start of 2014. When we expand the details for this event, we can see both an equity and a premium trigger. On September 30, 2017, the contingency is removed and the issue is freely convertible until maturity. From October 1, 2016, it will acquire a call option, which accretes for 1 year at 2% before being fixed at 108.496 until maturity. The new Convertible Bond Calculator, developed in partnership with Super CC, includes an intuitive interface and incorporates the latest visualization tools. To access the calculator, type convertible in the command line and select the Convertible Bond app. The calculator can solve fair price, implied volatility, or implied spread based on the theoretical model. For now, we'll keep fair price so we can compare the theoretical result with the market price. Let's change the market price to ask. Each time you alter a field value, the results are recalculated. Look for the progress bar near the top of the app indicating the data is updating. D indicates the market price of this bond is dirty. The Proceeds section shows the accrued interest, so the clean value is also visible. The results are shown further down the left-hand column. By default, the calculated results are based on the market value. You can switch to Display Results based on a fair value in the Settings menu at the top right of the screen. Click the cog icon, select User Settings, then Calculation Settings. Select Fair Price, and click Save. For readability, sections of the display can be minimized. The Advanced Model Analysis section contains additional information. For example, at the current stock price, the chance of redemption at maturity is very close to 100%. Let's change the stock price to 13.5. The yellow box around this field indicates it no longer contains the default value. At higher stock prices, the probability of the soft call option being triggered is greater, and this percentage is significantly lower. Also notice, at this hypothetical price, the gamma is negative as the delta has an inverse relationship with the stock. Double-click the stock price to return it to the current market value. An especially powerful feature of the convertible bond calculator is the chart. The chart makes it easy to view the relationship between the key model results and the underlying stock price. And we can see how it morphs in response to changes in model inputs. Here, we're looking at a bond issued by Air France KLM. It has a soft call trigger at 15.34. That's 130% of the conversion price of 11.8. So, above this price, the delta rises quickly to 100%, and the bond behaves like the underlying stock. At the shown stock price of 10.785, the conversion option is out of the money, but has enough value to lift the fair price away from the floor price. The chart provides an instant graphical view of the dynamics of the bond and becomes especially powerful as we start to change the assumptions used to compute the theoretical value. We'll start by pricing in the possibility of a credit event. Click the Stock Overview tab. We assume if the stock price reaches 3, the bond will be in default, and that we'll recover 10% of the face value. Click back to the Overview tab. We now see that below a stock price of around 8, the fair price drifts below the bond floor towards the recovery amount as the probability of default increases. Next, let's change the dividend assumption. We'll take a look at analyst predictions in the corporate view. Click the underlying asset code in the Conversion Details pane to open a quote app. Right-click in the quote and select Corporate View from the Related menu. Expand the Estimates tab and select Statement View. We can see Air France KLM hasn't paid a dividend since 2008, but analysts predict its reinstatement in the future. Back in the calculator, click the Stock Overview tab. Change the dividend type to discrete. Enter your own predictions or use the SMART estimates for 2015 and 2016. In this instance, there's not a dramatic change in the appearance of the chart, but we should recognize a slight flattening of the fair price line between stock prices of around 3 and 15. Next, let's examine how credit risk is priced. Click the Curves tab. By convention, equity cash flows are discounted using a risk-free curve, while the curve used for the bond cash flows incorporates a spread for default risk. We can see both curves displayed in the Yield Curve section. Thomson Reuters contributed CDS data is the default, but you can change the contributor to Market, our exclusive partner. You can choose a flat spread, for example 300, over the risk-free curve. Or select Sector Curve from the drop-down to apply a curve built from bonds in issue. Air France-KLM is not rated by the major agencies, but using a credit risk model we might assume a rating of BB. For additional flexibility, the points on the risk-free curve can be manually adjusted. Now, let's look at how stock volatility affects the fair value. By default, the model assumes flat volatility. We can apply a curve by selecting Term Structure. Click the Stock Overview tab once again. Where stock options are traded in the market, implied volatility is preferred, but the calculator can also retrieve historical volatility. As before, individual values can be overwritten based on your own analyses. Finally, let's take a look at credit spread decay. We may assume there is significant negative correlation between an issuer's stock price and their credit risk. By default, the calculator makes an automatic adjustment, but this can be altered or turned off. You can simulate your own stock price to credit spread relationship using this table. In the example shown, a 10% rise in stock price reduces the credit spread by 10 basis points. Based on our own analysis, suppose we believe a 12 basis point change is more accurate. Once you've finished making adjustments, check the cheapness, the spread between the market value and the fair value based on your inputs, for evidence of mispricing. To save your settings, click the cog icon, then Save from the File menu. Enter a name and click Save.